Hi there, boys and girls. This is Mike, better known as MC Crawdad from Retro Dog Digital. That's a mouthful. In any case, I'm here to do another fake unboxing. As you probably know, the last time I did an unboxing was a few weeks ago when this came out. Um, what I found since I've done that, because I did the video before I really had a chance to listen to it. Um, what I found out is because the track list on each of these is each of the three discs plus the Blu-ray are so similar that it's more like I'm listening to one disc at a time. Like them all, I love the Razorface full version, and I actually like the Rock Me When He's Gone full version too. But with that being said, it's something that I found that I'm only listening to one disc at a time. Now, this time week, gosh, I'm not sure how long ago it is, but I'm here to do another fake unboxing from, from our favorite company. Pull this out, and what we have here is not only sideways, it's backwards. It's kind of weird. Maybe I should turn the light uh, before I show this. What I'm trying to do is get it so where you can read the the blurb hype sticker, as they're called. And I think that was long enough. And as you can see, this was made in the Czech Republic, Czechia. And well, the name of this album is Regimental Sergeant Zippo, or as I like to call it, Reginald Sgt. Zippo. Yeah. In any case, the background on this is that these are the tracks that Bernie, or some of the tracks rather, that Elton and Bernie had written, that Elton and Caleb Quay had worked on in secret in the Dick James studios or whatnot. And they had it in mind for an album. Of course, this was in 1968, and a flower of psychedelia was going on, as the cover likes to portray. However, this cover was done recently for the record store day release on vinyl last year. Let's take this out of its plastic. Good. I can cut the hype sticker off that now. Seeing that, let me take this cover out of here so it's not so you're not getting so much glare. Okay, he looks like quite the hippie. And back. Now, this actually came out last week. As you can see, it has lyrics in there for each of the songs, and that's kind of what it has. What cracks me up on here, and this is why I picked up on the Reginald Sgt. Zippo, is I'm looking at the band credits. It says Elton John as Reg Dwight, meaning he hasn't changed his name yet. He didn't. He didn't cannibalize Elton Dean and Long John Baldry as at that point, but along with him is Caleb Quay, who, well, we'll talk a little bit later about him. And also Dave Hines. No clue who he is, and I don't know if he ever appeared in anything past the this era where Elton was doing all of these demos, and him and Bernie were writing songs not just for themselves, like in this case, but also for um, writing for hire, so to speak. I guess trying to be a Gotham King or Toppin and Queen. Sorry. And with that being said, uh, they um, they had originally put this out, and while I got this out, I'm going to show the flip there and put the there. You can see the song list, and this comes in both. It has both a mono and stereo mix in there. The mono mix was made last year for that record store release, and the stereo was made this year for this release. So you're getting both. So far, I prefer the mono. Okay, let's put this away for a second. And we're going to talk about this for a minute. This Behemoth box is the jewel. It's called the jewel box. Put that there so you can read the sticker. 60 unreleased tracks. Now, those 60 unreleased tracks, most of those come from this era. Um, there's a little bit of piano demos from the Madman Across the Water era. I should have had this right here, Simon. Madman Across the Water era. I don't plan. Like I said, I don't plan this shit out. I just do it. I don't care. It is the lowest production values you can freaking imagine. So, with that being said, you're getting me and my glory and my full personality, so to speak. Um, I'll just put it around this way. Now, the thing with this is everything that is on here, every song that is on here, with the exception of one, oh my goodness, and God knows what it is at this point. Um, I see that's what you get for not doing research. I and I'll be honest with you. This I got this. This came out in 2020, I believe, in October, maybe November. I did not buy it till Christmas time, and I'll be honest with you, I'd never really delved into the old demos that are showing that are put in on here. What I was actually getting into, believe it or not, was the first two and the last disc 1 and 2, and disc 8. What it is it was familiar songs, and I thought that they made a really good comparison with the Diamond's Greatest Hits box set, which I probably should have brought up too. Should I pause this and go get it? Nah. But anyway, so I did one thing. I made a MP3 CD of the 3 CDs here to put in my car, and that's what I was planning on doing, was delving into that as I went back and forth to work, because at that point in time, being January, I worked inside. Now, the main problem with that is I got COVID. Some of you may or may not remember. Some of you may not give a fuck. But I got COVID, and it pretty much waylaid me for what, 4 weeks, from pretty much almost the beginning of January until I don't think I went back to work until the last week in January. Excuse me. But in any case, I kind of didn't explore the 3 discs of demos that are in this box. So along comes, well, what, last week, I had heard, that they had made last year that they made a record store day release of this album, but I never, um, I'm not a vinyl guy, so okay, hopefully someday he'll release it on CD, which he finally did. Now, hopefully he will release the 2 disc, or I should say, the full concert of the 11-17-70, or for my British fans, 17-11-70. If I have any British fans, I'd like to think I'm a worldwide phenomenon, but doubt it. So anyway, got this, and I listened to it actually. And the thing is, like I said, everything but one song, and God, I wish I could remember what it was, appears on here. Now, here's the thing. Half of them, 5 of them, are in what are basically a demo form. Sometimes it's just Elton on piano. Sometimes it's Elton on piano with maybe a tambourine or whatever. Sometimes there's actually guitar added. Thank you, Caleb Quay. And we'll get to him in a minute, along with another one of Elton's bandmates. Well, bandmate ain't the right word. Band member, whatever. But everything that's on here, if I'm not mistaken, was a 68 mix. When all these were recorded, they just used the original mix, but they remixed the vinyl, the mono, and then they did stereo this year. And I'm kind of glad they did. Now, with that being said, I don't want to get into individual songs because I don't want this to be another epic mantra or whatever. But I've always had questions. They said, and like I said earlier, this was supposedly made for an album. The tracks that they had in mind for an album. In fact, an acetate was made of it to promote them. Now, the final say as far as an album goes belonged to Dick James. Now, I don't know if you know who Dick James is. He was a publisher. He had his hand in the Beatles. And in fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, he's in the original Let It Be movie. God, it's been so long since I've seen it, and I don't think Paul McCartney has it in his freaking mind to release it pretty soon. Fuck you, Paul. That goes for Complete Beatles too. Anyway, I have some questions about this release. First of all, if I may pull out this book that I bought. God, I've had it probably for 20 years. I have no clue what this sticker is all about. It's basically a kind of an encyclopedia. And if I was smart, I would have put it as a. There it is. Wow, that was close, quick. I would have put a bookmark there so I could find it quickly. That wasn't that bad. I improvised a little bit. Now, what you're seeing in this book is a page and a half dedicated to the Reginald Sgt. Zippo recordings. And I don't know if you can call the whole thing that, but they go into things. It does say on here the name of the book being Elton John from A to Z, Rocket Man, burning down the fuse out here along. Claude Bernardin and Tom Stanton. No clue who they are, but I'll read a little bit of this. Okay, demoed in June through December of '67, these songs were written by Elton and Taupin and likely meant for an album release. None appeared on official releases. And they messed up with the first thing, very first song that they got listed here because it's in alphabetical order. The song is Angel Tree, and it does appear on here, but it is my understanding that there are two songs, that and another one, whose name escaped me, that appear on a um, Portuguese EP, along with, I think it's Elton's first single. I've Been Loving You, and Here's to the Next Time. By the way, there is a fantastic piano demo. I think it's piano and tambourine of Here's to the Next Time on Jewel Box. I happen to love the release version. It's very, very, very Southern soul, except for Elton, maybe Southern Watford, or Southern Pinner. I freaking don't know, but I have no problem imagining Sam Moore, Percy Faith, Arthur Alexander, or Otis Redding doing this song. You if I was like what's his face there that does Anna Dialogue, I would have a link. Here's the link to that video. Seriously, look it up. It's a really, really, really great version. It appears on the Rare Masters 2-disc set. And now but anyway, Angel Tree, Annabella Color, Slide City. Boy, that sounds psychedelic. A Dandelion Dies in the Wind, which appears on here. I Can't Go On Living Without You. That does not appear on here. I Want to See You Smile, Lemonade, Lake, Mirrors in My Mind, Mr. Lightning, Strike a Man. Okay. And so forth, so on. Nina's on this. Regimental Sergeant Zippo. Reginald Sgt. Zippo. Scarecrow's not on here, but I used to know this old scarecrow. He was my song, my joy and sorrow. You can pay me not to sing. We'll set up. You can have my PayPal information for me not to sing, or you can just turn the video off. So anyway, so forth and so on. Then it says, on the following songs, Taupin did not contribute, except where otherwise noted. They were written by Elton alone. Now, the thing I seen on here is Thank You for All the Loving, which says it's with Caleb Quay. And also, if I'm not mistaken, Sitting Doing Nothing is on here as well. Now, the funny thing is there's a song on here called Witch's House. And if there is any clue, here's the link. If there anything that will give you a clue why Elton needed a lyricist, it is that song. Look it up, The Witch's House. He was probably on some premium British acid. I don't know, but it's horrid. It happens to appear on Jewel Box. So, with that being said, we go blah, 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 blah. And the following songs were written for the likes of Tom Jones. And the clock goes round, baby, I miss you, cry, willow, cry, I love you, and that's all that matters. I'll never let you go, which actually ain't bad. I'm just wondering if any of these are on this album. And the clock goes round is actually on here. I can't see where that would be, where Tom Jones would sing a song like that. Might confuse his fans a little bit. And now let's see if there's anything on here. Sitting Doing Nothing on here. John and Quay, but actually it's Dwight and Quay. And I'll tell you blah, 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 blah. Now, here's where I'm kind of like FWTF. Why the face? As Phil Dunphy would say. Reginald, excuse me, I got to quit doing that. Regimental Sergeant Zippo, named informally by fans, this collection of songs was never released, though an acetate was used to promote a John Toppin team. Elton intended to extract a first album from this work. Well, that didn't happen, did it, Reg? And the material was recorded in 77, about a half year before Elton and Toppin officially signed with Dick James Music. Dick James Music, not just publishing, but was his British record company up through the Rock of the Westies album, where you can tell the difference, or you could when you were a kid as an American fan like me, who you could tell the difference because the label for Here and There, which is actually the last album they released for that contract, had was your basic MCA 70s label, except that it was white rather than black. It had the rainbow on the side, reminiscent of the Uni label for Elton's first American record company. But anyway, let's continue here. Blah, 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 blah. Some sources have referred to this body as work, and I just skipped over the pertinent part of what I wanted to say. Elton and Toppin signed with Dave James Music with help from Caleb Quay. Personally, he offered a lot of fucking help. He is really the unsung hero of all Elton John fans. He put so much effort into Elton's early stuff, basically all the way through. Not sure if he was on a Man Man or not. I think so. I could look, but I'm not going to pull the book out of the box rather. But he was an integral part of the Elton John team, along with Reginald Sgt. Zippo and Bernie Brown Dirt Cowboy Toppin. That he deserves a whole lot more credit than Elton really ever gave him. For example, he, meaning Caleb, appears at least one song on every single disc of this 8-box set, with the exception of one. I think it's disc 6, the last B-sides, but that's disc. And granted, he only appears on one song on the uh, the first B-sides disc, but it's the very first one, Snow Queen. Now, with that in mind, I'm wondering, because I've been reading this, and what I read here always, and this book was put out in 1996. It probably wasn't too much longer after it was published that I got it. I know that I got it right around the same time that I started buying the classic years uh, Elton releases of the material he did for Dick James Music, DJM, his first few MCA albums. But the thing is what it says here is Quay, Roger Pope, and Tony Murray backed Elton on almost all of these tunes. Now, it says nothing about Roger Pope here. Roger Pope was in a band, and he appeared on everything up to, I believe, I don't think, oh my goodness. Here's where I get screwed up. He was on Madman, but he was not on, and he was not on the Elton John album. He was on Tumbleweed. In fact, that was the thing about Tumbleweed, that made it a little different. Is it had a little bit more rock and roll to it. For example, and I know I'm getting off track here, and I'm already up to 26 minutes of me rambling, but he, but Ballad of a Well-Known Gun could be done by Leonard Skinner, for example. Now, I'm looking here. Okay, this is what they're going into this, and this is the Elton thing here. But where this, I gotta admit, this thing, I hate reading bulky books. I wish the one, and this is a little off topic too, but it's very pertinent. I wish record companies would release all the liner notes for not just for box sets but whatnot on Kindle. It would I would 20 25 years ago I would have dug in. I would have dug into this like it was a Bible, but it's a little bit funny. I don't know. But as I'm going down here, there's a thing here that says track listing for unreleased Reginald Sgt. Zippo album 1968. Some of the songs in this box are not the final version used for this album, and none of them are the mixes that are on the released version. And it has what the order they're in. This is the first Elton John release of all songs except where noted. Rarities track research. Blah, 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 blah. The recordings have been mastered to provide the best sound quality possible. Source quality may vary. Yeah, gosh, I can't. What is it? Like Scarecrow? Holy freaking God, that sounds like shit. But they have on here studios, Dick James Studios, EMI Studios, Abbey Road. I never knew that Elton or Reginald or whatever you want to call him, Hercules, recorded at Abbey Road. Jackson Recording Studios, I never heard of. I know he's recorded at Olympics, and I knew he recorded at Philips because that was who did his things. And there's like a cover from these eras that tells about who did them and everything. And you go down here, featured musicians. Elton John, Reg Dwight, goes through the various members of Bluesology. Bernie Calvert of the Hollies is in the Bread and Beer Band. I did not know that. That's freaking wild. Blah, 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 blah. Dave Hines, who it says is on here. Roger Pope, who it says is on here according to the book. Again, if you can ever find this, get it. It's kind of cool. But okay, where am I after here? I am looking, and it also right next to each other. It has Tony Murray because these are in alphabetical order. It has Tony Murray and Dee Murray is who it says appears on the recordings. At least what we're talking about is Jewel Box. Apparently, on here, um, Dee Murray, Dee Murray and Roger, or I'm sorry, Tony Murray and Roger Pope are not listed on this. It is David Hines, who apparently played on a lot of demos, these Elton demos, including this album, and Dee Murray. Now, Dee Murray, as you better know, or else I'm going to unfriend you, as most of you are on my friends list. Dee Murray was the bass player for the Elton John band. Basically, the Elton John band that toured with him. They're the one, him and Nigel Olsson, who, curiously enough, doesn't appear on here, but he appears on his actual first release, Empty Sky, which Dee doesn't appear on, but Tony does. You're like, okay. With that all being said, it just kind of intrigued me because I've always assumed it was Tony Murray playing bass who went on to play on the Empty Sky album. Now, Tony Murray was in a band with Nigel Olsson called Plastic Penny, and then Nigel went into a band and he played with Tony on a track. I believe it's Lady What's Tomorrow. Excuse me. That's on Empty Sky. Now, with that, they gosh, I just lost my train of thought. That is not unheard of with me. But excuse me, Nigel went on to play in Elton's touring band, along with Dee Murray, who played on this, but didn't play on his first album and didn't play any. Um, they played on 11/17/70, of course, uh, but they did not play on a studio cut until I believe Tumbleweed Connection, and that was only one, Amarina. And so, with that being said, this is kind of not just that as far as this album. It just another interlinking piece of the Elton John Reginald Sgt. Zippo puzzle. Now, the songs on here, Regimental Sergeant Zippo is, how shall we say, Trey psychedelic. In fact, the whole album is. If you want my honest opinion, this doesn't sound like a lost Elton John album. It sounds like a lost Move album. And if you don't know who the Move are, look them up on Wiki. I won't unfriend you for not knowing who they are, but you'd be surprised who they turned into. Now, so with that being said, how do we take this on its own terms? Very easily. I like it. I don't love it. I like it. To quote Ron White, uh, the psychedelia is very, very, very. Can you say Beatles oriented? Or it's imagine, like I said, the Move, but at the same time, imagine a cross between Hello Goodbye and Ruby Tuesday, which came out pretty much the same time as 45s. Think about it. If you can put those two together, and with that, okay, Reginald Sgt. I got to quit doing that. I got it in my mind the moment I bought this and I seen this cover, which is like Elton, Elton, Reginald Dwight. But the thing is he, um, if you listen to this, I mean, there's some good stuff on here, and there is a shit ton of promise here. But the Plastic Penny, who I mentioned earlier, with Tony Murray and Nigel Olsson, uh, did a cover of a song on here called "Turn to Me." Here's the link. But and I should probably go through this and put the videos in the comments, but I'm not gonna. If you're interested, you'll listen to them. But it is nowhere near as good as Elton's version. I absolutely love it. It is. I don't want to say head and shoulders above everything on here, but it is fantastic. Turn to me when you're lonely. But in any case, am I lucky? Am I glad this is out on compact disc so I can hear it? Yeah, of course I am. Will it be my go-to Elton? No. It will be my go-to Reginald Sgt. Zippo Dwight. All right, this is me signing off. Love you.